Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, September 12, 2023. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill. Here. Ms. Gross. Mrs. Kale Smith. Mr. Kraus. Mr. Lavelle.
Here.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Mrs. Warwick.
Here.
Mr. Wilson. Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Here.
5 members present.
Thank you very much. If we please all rise, face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may now be seated. Next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. The next order of business is proclamation. I believe Councilman Coghill for Councilman Smith. We have one to be presented.
Yes, sir. Can we have the folks from Gateway Clipper Fleet come up, please? You come on all the way up here. You got a baby. Many of us are familiar with the Gateway Clipper Fleet. If you haven't been on it, I highly suggest it. I think you market it as the best way to see the city of Pittsburgh, and I agree with that 100%. So, one quick little story is, I don't know if you know this, but I actually had a boat turned around because I accidentally got set sail with Councilman O'Connor in the Cookie Cruise. Yeah. So I think I have the dubious distinction of having a boat turned around. So don't hold that against me. I know it doesn't. I know. Long chat and a lot of deliberation with your captain that day, but we got the job done. So whereas founded in 1958 by John Edward Connolly, the Gateway Clipper Fleet is celebrating its 65th season. Whereas while helping to revitalize the Three Rivers as treasurer for Alcosan, Mr. Connolly realized the potential of the Pittsburgh rivers and turned his vision of an excursion boat into a reality. The first vessel he purchased was christened the Gateway Clipper, as Pittsburgh was known for the gateway to the west. Its maiden Pittsburgh voyage was on May 17, 1958, during Pittsburgh's 200th anniversary celebration, and sailed for 4 months, touring the rivers with over 25,000 passengers, becoming the city's first official sightseeing boat. And due to the tremendous popularity of the cruises, 2 more boats were added in 1959, thus creating the Gateway Clipper Fleet. More than 20 boats have since sailed the Three Rivers as vessels of the fleet. And today, third-generation owner and the grandson of John Connolly, President Terry Wirgenis, oversees a fleet of 5 Countess, Duchess, Empress, Princess, and Three Rivers Queen, which are moored at Station Square. The fleet is the largest inland river boat fleet in America. And whereas the family-owned and operated fleet proudly sails Pittsburgh's Three Rivers and offers a wide variety of cruises, including dining cruises, sightseeing cruises, wedding ceremonies, and receptions, private events, and shuttle service to and from North Shore Stadium's events. And whereas in 2023, the Gateway Clipper Fleet hosted more than 250,000 guests, from local residents to tourists from around the world. The Clipper Fleet also takes pride in supporting local organizations through donations, community enrichment, and hosting educational seminars on board. And now therefore be resolved that Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby congratulate the Gateway Clipper Fleet on its 65th season and thank them for their service to the City of Pittsburgh. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby congratulate the Gateway Clipper Fleet on its 65th season and thank them for their service of the city and the City of Pittsburgh. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 12th, 2023, to be the Gateway Clipper Fleet Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Need a motion? Need a
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who say congratulations.
I didn't realize you were the bandstand of the original. Yeah. Well, if you wouldn't say a few words.
Sure, thank you very much. Thank you, Councilman Colhill and the rest of the council for this very great honor. I'd just like to take a second to thank you for what you do for our community as well. I am the chairman of the board. I proudly serve and humbly serve as the chairman of the board of the Birmingham Foundation, which does, I think we do really good work in your neighborhood, working with early childhood development primarily. So it's one of my great honors to be part of that. It's one of my great honors to be here with some of our folks here at the Gateway Clipper Fleet. Much was a pretty good outline, a very good outline in the proclamation, but we are very humbled and proud to be able to serve this community. We've served well over 10 million passengers, our guests, over these years, and we've had thousands and thousands of crew members that we've came through. Right now we have about 150, right now 170 maybe at this point. But these are some of our key people right here. Gene Ryan, who's been with us like 32 years, Gene, okay? Director of Quality Control. Dara Brown and her granddaughter Layton is, I think she got 35 years in. 34 years in, and she's our Chief Financial Officer. Krista Grable is our do everything. I call her Radar O'Reilly. She's the one that gets everybody. She's I'll call her Human Relations and what's that other word? Payroll, so forth. My daughter Hannah Roth, who's head of the sales, and my son Christian Wirginis, who's head of works with marine operations. Not quite head of marine operations yet, but these are the two. I have 7 children altogether. They've all been through the business. These are the two that I'll call it drank the Kool-Aid, and they're stuck to us now. So, and I think that that's the 4th generation that we're coming on. I hope we get served millions and millions of more passengers. As you said at the beginning, Pittsburgh, I can tell you, I've been at every city in the United States, in North America with water, a presence of water in it. There is no more beautiful city to be seen from its waters than the city of Pittsburgh is. And we're just grateful and proud and humbled to be able to be part of the process here in Pittsburgh and be one of the icons of Pittsburgh. Thank you very much.
You never volunteered to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Here, if we can just get a picture, you holding that in the middle. Sorry, yeah, these things always come out. Welcome. We'll see you in the dock. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We have 3 to be read in the record.
Councilman Kraus presents, be it further resolved that the City of Pittsburgh hereby declares Wednesday, September 6th, 2023 to be Helen Bainey Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Councilman Kraus also presents, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare the month of September 2023 to be Addiction Recovery Month in the City of Pittsburgh and recognizes Dennis Haynes, Alyssa Mainhart, and Kenneth Close for their extraordinary efforts to support recovery in our region. And Councilman Wilson presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh hereby declares Saturday, September 16th, 2023 to be Dutchtown Day here in the City of Pittsburgh.
Motion to approve. Brief discussion, Mr. Chair, please.
Second.
Mr. Cross?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to recognize that this is the 8th year that my office has sponsored the Recovery Walk here in Pittsburgh, and I don't know how many tens of thousands of people over the years have come to the event, and hopefully some have found their sobriety through that. I also want to recognize UPMC for always having been our primary presenting sponsor each of those 8 years at $50,000, which is no small feat. We could not do the recovery walk if it were not for the consistent support of UPMC in that process. So it's this Saturday, September 16th. We'll launch from our traditional location. Anyone who wishes even just to come down and take a look around just to see what it might have to offer, please come down. You will be welcome. But we get several thousand people that come to the walk, and I'm grateful for the support we have and the people that hopefully have found their sobriety through the event. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Probably moved in second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there's a nay. We are now, next order of business is public comment. I'd like to remind everyone that the rules of council state the comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before city council. Profanity and insults will not be permitted. When you are called to speak, please state your name and neighborhood for the record. You will have 3 minutes. Our first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Belsuver. I also have a connection with Timbuktu, Mali. Global Intelligence Society, U.S. Candidate for President 2024. Global Intelligence Society .org. We are anti-ideological and pro the securing of optimal information and intelligence. A concern of this council, Karamaf, Hukuma, Oyoko, no, Seguridad, local, public, safety. LPSS, Pittsburgh, and building height is a concern. In Abuja, Nigeria, the capital of Nigeria, the tallest building is just over 300 feet. The tallest building in Kyoto, Nihon, again, just over 300 feet. Lima, Peru, capital of Peru, the Banco building is over 400, between 400 and 500 feet. And in Ronstein, Deutschland, the tallest building is 275 feet. A concern of city council is public safety. Now, Pittsburgh is vulnerable to attack. The Biological Safety Lab, the Supercomputer Center, and the U.S. Cyber Command make Pittsburgh a prime target. Now, what do we do about this? One of the things that we can do is to provide an option for our people in case of an attack. And I advocate that this council ordinance underground buildings, to begin with in the most geologically and geographically stable places, which would begin with Mount Washington and Squirrel Hill. The second thing is that we can deter attack by ordinance to deconstruct the buildings which are anachronisms and that are dangerous. One Oxford Center and UPMC Tower are among them, 700 feet tall. Now, what if something happened like 9/11 happened here? It can happen here. Those buildings need to be removed.
Thank you very much. Our next registered speaker is Chief Pumajay Chakman Yajalija. Are they online? No. Our next registered speaker is Chief Ajabalit Chanel Kin. Is that personal?
Greetings, in my county, I am an Aboriginal American matriarch, and my title is Chief Yajalaji Chanal Ka'een, located in the Delaware Territory, as you all would call Pittsburgh. My statement today are to invoke my people's constitutional indigenous rights, and I am encouraging City Council to pass my people's legislation. The legislation is intended to ensure the protection, security, and safety of our people against discrimination, forced assimilation, eugenics, and genocide. The title of the legislation is Pittsburgh City Code Municipal Title 6, Article 12, Rights to Indigenous People. Thank you, and I yield.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the chambers who wishes to address City Council?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rick Moore. I'm from Brookline. I'm an advocate for a rapid transit system between the airport and downtown Pittsburgh. It was a pleasure today to meet Mr. Terry McGinnis and his entourage, because they go into the Wayback Machine with me personally. As a young boy, my first job was as a busboy at the Lamont, as many people from Duquesne Heights, kids who needed a job, worked at the Lamont. And one of our regular customers was John Conley and Mr. McGinnis's mother. So I had a good time talking to them, and I also spoke to him about this rapid transit system, which he said he supports. Now, there's a perfect example of a businessman who we need to reach out to and talk about this conversation down here on Grant Street. Because, as I said last week, we need leadership. That's the most important thing, and we need the will of the people. With these two things, we can make it happen. But we start down here, and we go forward. How much it will cost, I have no idea. I don't think anybody else has any idea. What are the challenges? Who's going to pay for it? How do we pay for it? I really don't know. Engineering issues? Right-of-way issues, these are all complicated problems. But I do know from my travels, which are extensive, is that I've seen it work in other places. We know it works. The impact on the economy will be dramatic, in my opinion, because of my own personal experiences. So thank you for your time. I don't want to get into too much because I don't have enough time to get into it, but I can go on and on about this subject with data and with what I believe is vital to this region. Thank you for your time, and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Any other speakers? Any other speakers? Thank you very much. Seeing none, we will now move to the presentation of papers, starting with my committee, Chair Human Resources, Mr. Coghill, for me.
No new papers, Mr.
Thank you
Chair.
very much. Mr. Coghill, Chair of
space.
Public Safety and Wellness.
No new papers, Mr.
Thank you
Chair.
very much. Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs.
Mr. Pro Tem?
Thank you.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill Number 1911, Resolution Adopting Plan Revision to the City of Pittsburgh's Official Sewage Facilities Plan for 3127 Liberty Avenue at no cost to the city. Bill 1912, Resolution Adopting Plan Revision to the City of Pittsburgh's Official Sewage Facilities Plan for 305 Wood Street at no cost to the city. And Bill Number 1913, Resolution Adopting Plan Revision to the City of Pittsburgh's Official Sewage Facilities Plan for 55 27th Street at no cost to the city.
Thank you very much. That takes us to Councilman Kraus, Chair of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill Number 1914, Resolution Providing for an Agreement or Agreements with Evolve EA for costs associated with the Three Rivers Heritage Trail Maintenance and Management Project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $145,949.72.
Thank you very much. Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Lavelle.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill Number 1915, Resolution Authorizing the Issuance of a Warrant in the amount of $3,425 over 1 year in favor of Marie Barsick in full and final settlement of a claim for damage to her vehicle from an accident with a city police vehicle. Bill number 1916, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in the amount of $21,633.77 over 1 year in favor of ARI Fleet in full and final settlement of a claim for damage to their stopped vehicle from a city environmental services rear-ending it and pushing it onto another stopped vehicle. Bill number 1917, resolution further amending resolution number 840 of 2019, effective December 23, 2019, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2020 Capital Budget and the 2020 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2020 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Axiom Advancement Corporation as a grant recipient and increasing Hill District CDC by $5,000 and authorizing a subsequent agreement. And Bill number 1918, resolution further amending resolution number 647 of 2020, effective December 23, 2020, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2021 Capital Budget and the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Axiom Advancement Corporation as a grant recipient and increasing Hill District CDC by $8,334 and authorizing a subsequent agreement.
Thank you very much. That takes us to Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
No new papers.
Thank you very much. That takes us to Councilwoman Warwick, Chair of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Warwick presents Bill number 1919, resolution amending resolution number 484 of 2022, further amending resolution number 647 of 2021, authorizing the mayor, the director of permits, licensing, and inspections, the director of city planning, and the chief of innovation and performance to enter into an amended professional service agreement or agreements with Building I, Inc. to purchase software and related support services that will create an interactive map for internal and public visual display of planning, permit, license, and violation data by increasing the approved amount by $79,600 for an amended total cost not to exceed $567,340 over 8 years.
Thank you very much. It takes us to Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. The Chair, on behalf of Councilwoman President Smith, has a number of few things.
Council President Kell Smith presents Bill number 1920, resolution appointing Carlene King as a member of the Human Relations Commission with a term to expire August 29, 2027.
I either need a motion to interview or a motion to approve.
I will motion to approve, please, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All those in favor signify, any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. And now we have two communications. I do have a note that they want the clerk to read both bills in their entirety.
Bill number 1921, communication from Mayor Ed Gainey establishing the Office of Equal Protection as the enforcing agency of the Paid Sick Days Act and is hereby requested be read into the record as follows. The Office of the Mayor, which is responsible for the enforcement of the Paid Sick Days Act, seeks to give council notice of changes to the regulations governing administration of the Act. In accordance with City Code 626.02, the enforcing agency is a department of entity controlled by the Office of the Mayor. I hereby designate the Office of Equal Protection, established by Ordinance Number 13 of 2023, as the agency responsible for enforcement of the Paid Sick Days Act. The Paid Sick Days Act further provides that the enforcing agency, the Office of Equal Protection, shall be authorized to coordinate implementation and enforcement of this chapter and shall promulgate appropriate guidelines and/or regulations for such purposes. At 626.02, the Office of Equal Protection hereby promulgates a revised set of appropriate regulations in order to enforce the law, a copy of which is attached. Bill number 1922, communication from Mayor Ed Gainey submitting notice of changes to regulations governing the ensuring equal employment opportunity for persons previously convicted ordinance and is hereby requested be read into the record as follows. The Office of Equal Protection, which is responsible for the enforcement of the Ensuring Equal Employment Opportunity for Persons Previously Convicted ordinance, City Code 161.16A, seeks to give council notice of changes to the regulations governing administration of the ordinance. The ordinance provides that the Office of Equal Protection shall be authorized to coordinate implementation and compliance with this ordinance, and shall promulgate appropriate guidelines and/or regulations for such purposes that reflect the city's application processing policy referenced in Chapter 181, City Code 161.16A. The Office of Equal Protection hereby promulgates a revised set of appropriate regulations in order to enforce the law, a copy of which is attached.
Motion to receive and file, please.
Is there a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That takes us to Bill 1922.
No, they were both.
They were both together. I'm sorry, you read them both together?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. We will now move to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business before council? Seeing none, we are now ready for a report for final action, starting with Councilman R. Daniel Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill Number 1905, reported to Committee on Finance and Law for September 6, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1842, ordinance amending Title VI, Conduct, Article 1, Rights and Actions by creating a new chapter, 620E, Protection of Gender-Affirming Care Services Providers from Out-of-State Investigation or Prosecution for Providing Legal Gender-Affirming Care. Bill 1843, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh City Code Title VI, Conduct, Article 1, Regulated Rights and Actions, Chapter 603, Enforcement Limitations regarding bans of certain reproductive health care services by creating a new Chapter 603A, Enforcement Limitations regarding bans of certain gender-affirming health care services. Bill Number 1855, resolution providing for the issuance of a warrant in favor of the Regional Opportunity Center doing business as Vibrant Pittsburgh in the amount of $50,000 for annual membership dues. Bill 1856, resolution further amending Resolution Number 723 of 2022, effective December 27, 2022, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2023 Capital Budget, the 2023 Community Development Program, and the 2023 through 2028 Capital Improvement Program by increasing Calera Street Bridge by $322,000 and California Avenue Bridge by $220,000.
Thank you very much. You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill having received the legally required number of votes is finally passed. That takes us to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill Number 1906, reported to Committee on Public Safety and Wellness for September 6, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill Number 1844, resolution amending Resolution Number 317 of 2021, authorizing the mayor and director of public safety to enter on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh into an amended agreement or agreements with Purvis Systems for installation of a new fire station alerting system and related support services by increasing the approved amount by $634,700 for an amended total cost not to exceed $3,398,527.51 over 10 years.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0
The
noes.
bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. That takes us to Councilman Bruce Kraus, Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill number 1907, reported to Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for September 6, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1851, resolution providing for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the Calera Street Bridge project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $634,000, an increase of $322,000 from the previously executed agreement. This resolution serves to authorize only the amended reimbursement agreement or agreements at no cost to the city. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. Bill 1852, resolution providing for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the California Avenue Bridge project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $1,020,000, an increase of $220,000 from the previously executed agreement. This resolution serves to authorize only the amended reimbursement agreement or agreements at no cost to the city. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. Bill 1853, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development's Multimodal Transportation Fund for the Critical Sidewalks Improvement Project, and further providing for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $970,052.77. Bill 1854, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development's Multimodal Transportation Fund for the Second Avenue Connector Project, and further providing for an agreement and expenditures not to exceed $148,295.01.
Further reading title of the bill. Is any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. That takes us to Councilwoman Barbara Warwick, Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management and Technology.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Wilson.
Councilman Warwick presents Bill number 1909, reported to Committee on Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology for September 6, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1857, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into a fellowship participation agreement and/or agreements with Coro Pittsburgh at a cost not to exceed $18,000 over 3 years. Bill 1858, resolution amending Resolution 335 of 2022, authorizing the mayor and the directors of the Departments of Innovation and Performance and Public Safety on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with OST Inc. as needed to fulfill a number of critical IT and device-related projects related to database management and migration and software development, to replace key systems by increasing the term and authorize not to exceed amount by $180,000 for a total cost not to exceed $426,346.02 for a term of up to 3 years.
You've heard the reading title of the bill. Is any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. My page is stuck. I think I skipped my good friend on council, Councilman Bobby Wilson, Committee on Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, my friend.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 1908, reported at Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for September 6, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1665, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title IX zoning, Article 2, Base Zoning District, Chapter 905.04, Riverfront Districts to add fresh food access as a performance point option.
Thank you very much. You've heard the read and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross. Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. I will do our announcements first, then move to. You know what? I'm out of it today. Councilwoman Gross, who is the chair of our last committee, which is Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs.
Pro Tem.
I think watching the football game got me.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 1910, reported at Committee on Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs for September 6, 2023, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1847, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the City of Pittsburgh Department of Public Works project Lincoln Place Combined Safety Facility at 1201 Mifflin Road, located at Lot and Block 184E80 at no cost to the city. Bill 1848, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the University of Pittsburgh Gene and Cell Therapy Project, Lot 18 of Hazelwood Green, PLDP, at no cost to the city. Bill 1849, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the 6 30th Street project, which will involve the development of one apartment building with associated amenities. The site address is 6 30th Street in the 6th Ward at no cost to the city. And Bill number 1850, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the 2929 Smallman Street project, which will involve the development of one apartment building with associated amenities. The site address is 2929 Smallman Street in the 6th Ward at no cost to the city.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? If no, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. Now, we'll go to meeting announcements, and then after that, motions and resolutions. This afternoon at 1 p.m., council will hold an executive session, the large conference room on legal matters. Also today, with sessions at 2 and 3, council will hold a briefing for members and council staff relative to the citywide comprehensive plan. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 13th at 10 a.m., council will hold their standing committees meeting. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday morning. Also tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, council will hold a cablecast public hearing on Bill 2023 1666 as it relates to the Allegheny General Hospital Institutional Master Plan. To register to speak at this public hearing, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage. You may also call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. And on Thursday, September 14th, council will hold a virtual briefing with sessions at 1 and 2 relative to Bill 2022-0270. Madam Clerk, am I chairing tomorrow's afternoon meeting, or is it a member of council? I guess that's Mr. Wilson. I guess that's your district. Are you chairing the meeting?
I can chair.
It's up to you. You want to chair it? Okay. You are deputized to chair the meeting. Anything before council? I was thinking when I was here, looking at all the members, it just, as Mr. Krause and I go to this good night of our life, right? I was just thinking how foolish it is for us to pit communities against themselves. It really makes no sense. The only way our city gets better, ever, is all of us working together and all the communities benefiting. That's the secret sauce. If I've been successful in any way, that's been my secret, is not to create lose-win situations, but to create win-win, where everybody benefits. And I was just thinking that it's part of the reason I was lost in thought as we were going through these formalities. Anyway, that's my thought. Any other thinking or anything else before council? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes, excuse the absent member, and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, nay. We are adjourned.